Okay, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Bashim Harachakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders here, great millstone, peace and blessings to the Lord's hopeful elect. So I watched Elder Rakah a lesson, GMS for the Most High God, titled that state is doomed and on the road to perdition. Now he's talking about the so-called state or country of Israel and how there's, you can almost say, a mass exodus that's being committed where the people, the Israelis in their land, are leaving. And, like this video he's playing, he has this Amalekite woman. She's, so-called, she's getting like teary-eyed because she's saying that this mass exodus that's occurring is like a reversed Aliyah. That's where they would so-called flee to this country or this state for refuge from oppression from across the world. But now people are doing the opposite. Now people are leaving. Yeah. And that's because this man, Esau Edom, knows nothing but the sword. And he's motivated by hate to do everything that he is desired to do. And when you do the research, their plan, even back in the before the 1900s, you got one name, Albert Pike. Just go look him up. He was an Amalekite, a part of the secret society, and he stated how there's already, a plan in the works to start 3 world wars, and the third war to result in the country, the state of Israel, as well as the Islamic states. So, people who go out there and try to protest, or that's been trying for years to try to stop the killings that's going on, don't realize that these people have no intent on stopping. Okay, this devil believes in his strength, the strength that he has as the serpent, which is 1, the sword, and 2, his deception. So his goal is, with the force of the sword, to continue to expand, and he doesn't believe in putting the sword down. And he can just, and his belief is that he can just continue to lie and to deceive the people into being on board with their program. Well, everything's starting to come out now, even from like 9/11, that being an inside job done by Amalek, and all these other, and everything that's going on right now. People are starting to realize the Lord is revealing the skirt of Esau Edom, and people are realizing that this man is just motivated solely off hate. And there's consequences that come with that. When you engage in nothing but war, right, all out war repeatedly, there's consequences that come with that, especially economic consequences, right? Like here, this brother ended up sharing. Says, is the Israel economy heading towards a collapse as Gaza war drags on, right? And it breaks down how ever since they did not stop with the war, right, with the killings in October of 2023, their economy is getting hit really hard. And that's also another motivation as of why people are leaving. Because think about it, there's rules to war, but when you engage in countless killings and whatnot, you essentially have to put your own country, your own city at a pause to go and deal with a so-called threat originally. But when you're the one on the offense, when you're the one that's motivated by hate, right, to say we're going to keep expanding because they're trying to steal their blessing back and they want that land over there so that they could try to force the blessing to come upon them by saying we're the ones that inhabited this land and anybody else has to go and we'll do it by the force of the sword. When you're constantly engaging in that war, and at the same time you have the whole country, the whole world protesting it and even deciding to pull out deals, right, to hurt that they've made with you. You know, a lot of people decided to stop doing business with Israel, and this man is saying, I don't care. We're gonna keep using our sword. We're gonna keep swinging this. We're gonna keep claiming lives. It's gonna take a big toll on your whole state over there, so-called, and it's gonna bring it to a collapse, right? So you could just read this. He explains how people are leaving and how they're suffering. So this devil is letting his whole so-called people state, I would say, suffer out of rage, right? Because he has that sword, and he's saying this is what we're gonna live by, and according to the scriptures, this is what you're gonna die by. Isaiah 14, verse 4: Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, which includes the Israeli. They like to separate themselves, but no, they're included as well. They're from the seed of Amalek, which is the chief of the head tribe of Esau. And say, how have the oppressors ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord Yahweh have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of his rulers. Right, so your staff is being broken, your support is being broken, your so-called, the word they want, your so-called perception of the world, that, oh, you're the minority, oh, you're the oppressed, oh, you're the underdog, oh, you suffered so much, oh, you need help and support, you know, oh, you're God's people. All that's coming to an end. Nobody believes that. And nobody believes that anymore, I should say. Anybody that probably did believe that, they don't believe that anymore. You can't use that anymore against the people. So you've essentially fizzled out any so-called credibility you had with the world, in the sense of trying to portray yourselves as the victims, as the underdogs, right? People who need help and support. That's gone, right? It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruleth the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. That's the spirit of this man. A continual stroke. He doesn't believe in stopping. He doesn't believe in a ceasefire. You know, in World War II, which they set that up anyway, but to get America involved, if you as an American protested to get involved in a senseless war that had nothing to do with you, they labeled you anti-Semitic. If you protested to get involved, you were labeled as anti-Semitic, and they most likely gonna do it again, because as this war drags on and they're trying to force Iran involved, right? Russia has an obligation to defend Iran. So as the state of Israel continue to bring all this heat upon themselves, right, and eventually the blood is going to come for them, guess who's they're going to drag to back them up? The U.S. citizens, okay? These sheep over here in America, in Babylon. And if you refuse, they're going to say you're anti-Semitic. They could very well do that and say, oh, you don't want to go help the people? You're anti-Semitic. So they could just redo it all over again, you know what I mean? Because he believes in a continual stroke. He doesn't believe in stopping, you know, ceasefire. He's not going to stop, you know. He doesn't believe in peace. He doesn't believe in rest. He doesn't believe in that, okay? He believes in the force of the sword and deception, and he's not putting down the sword at all to this day. No matter how much the world is protesting it, no matter how much he's killing his own economy, no matter how much he's hurting his own so-called people over there, he will not stop, okay? And the Lord is preparing evil unto you. Like if you read verse 9, it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up their thrones all the kings of the nations. New King James says, hell from beneath is excited about you, to meet you at your coming. It stirs up the dead for you. All the chief ones of the earth, it have raised up their thrones, all the kings of the nations. Why is that? Because since you love death so much, as the scripture says, since you have not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee. Since you love the sword so much, since you love violence so much, violence is coming to your door. And the grave is excited about about all the souls that it's going to be filled with. Thus saith the Lord. Matthew 26, verse 52. Then said Yahushua unto him, put up again thy sword into his place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. So all those who live by the sword shall die by the sword. And that's what's going to come. That's what's going to happen to that state over there. And, like the elder said, those who remain are just going to be destroyed by nuclear fire. With that, shalom.